Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Welcome everyone. Thank you again for tuning into this channel. If you're new here, my name is Michael Ogbonna and I am a pharmacist that just got accepted to medical school, and I'm starting this July. So I've dedicated this channel to documenting the entire journey. I just want to welcome you, and in this video in particular, I'm gonna explain the backstory to why my dad freaked out, went crazy when he found out that I got into medical school. Obviously, everyone's parents go crazy when they find out their child gets in because of how competitive it is. But honestly, I don't know. I feel like my dad went a little bit over the top, and I'm gonna give you guys a backstory to why he probably freaked out. But if you haven't seen the video or don't know what I'm talking about, here you go. So, Daddy, guess what?
What?
I got in, man.
No, you're kidding. Are you serious? Are you?
Daddy, I'll send you a letter. I have it.
Oh my God! Michael, are you serious?
Yes, Daddy, I got in. They called me right when we got back. Like an hour after we got back, they called me and said they accepted me.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so if you watch that video, obviously this man, he freaked out and he was like going crazy. It sounded like he was almost crying in that video. I'll give you guys some background and then we can go from there. But if you don't know, both of my parents were born in Nigeria. They moved to America in the 80s. My dad actually went to pharmacy school in Massachusetts and graduated. After he graduated, he started working in Maine, and that was where I was born. My dad, when we were growing up, and this is the case with all, one thing I'll say is whenever I meet another Nigerian, it seems like our lives are the same because everyone's parents treat their kids the same way. It's like you can just relate to other Nigerians, and anyone that's watching this that's Nigerian, they can understand what I'm talking about. I just can connect so easily with another Nigerian because it's like we all grew up the same. It's crazy. The one thing about Nigerians, especially their parents, is like they want all their kids to be like doctors or lawyers or engineers. The thing that all those have in common, obviously, is that they all pay very well. They're all very stable careers. Nigerian parents, it's like a dream if they can come to America, go to medical school, go to law school, become an engineer. There's this saying in Nigerian cultures, you're either a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, or you're a failure. I know that's kind of funny and kind of cruel, and obviously that's not true. You're not a failure if you're not a lawyer, doctor, or engineer. And honestly, one thing I'll say about my parents and I guess our culture sometimes is that we have a false perception that like if our kids are this, then they're gonna be set for life. Nothing else, they can't do anything else to be successful, which obviously we know there's so many things nowadays that you can do to make money, to be successful. You don't have to be a lawyer, doctor, or engineer and get in a bunch of debt just to be successful. I just wanted to give you guys some background. Nigerian parents always seem to want their kids to like go to medical school to become a doctor or a lawyer, something like that. So there is no difference for my family. My dad has always wanted me to go to medical school, always wanted his son to be a doctor for whatever reason, right? But when I went to pharmacy school, he expressed his desire for me that, Michael, don't settle for pharmacy, which obviously pharmacy is a huge accomplishment in and of itself. He was like, Michael, I want you to go to medical school. And so obviously as someone that is currently in pharmacy school, studying really hard, doing the best I can, I don't really want to hear, you want me to go to more school? even if I did have that desire to go to medical school, every ounce of that desire left when I felt like somebody was essentially trying to persuade me to do it. I think the best way I can explain it is I got turned off to the idea. Even if I might have wanted to, at that point, I was just like, I'm just gonna do pharmacy, I'm gonna stick with it, and I can make money doing pharmacy. I will be successful. I don't need to go to medical school to be successful. I can be successful in whatever I do. That's what I believe. And so anyways, I was set on going to pharmacy school, doing pharmacy and graduating, working as a pharmacist. But there was a point when I was in pharmacy school where I realized that I didn't want to go to medical school. And I've already explained that in a previous video. If you want to listen to it, I'll put the video in the description so you can go check it out. There was a moment when I was in pharmacy school where I felt like I wanted to go to medical school, but I didn't know when I was going to do this. I obviously expressed this to my dad, to which he was very excited because it's something that he's always wanted me to do. But, you know, once I graduated, I got married, I started working, you know, he would bring it up every once in a while, like, Michael, have you given up on your dream, or are you still gonna, stuff like that. At that point, I wasn't sure when I was gonna go, or if I even was still going to go, or if I was just gonna settle down. Little did he know, I had actually decided that I was going to apply to medical school. When I was applying, this is why he was very excited when he found out, because I'll tell you guys the truth. I didn't tell him that I was applying to medical school. Yes, I did not tell my father that I was applying to medical school. I told my mom and my sisters, but I didn't tell my dad. And the reason why I didn't tell my dad, you guys are probably like, what? The reason why I didn't tell my dad is because I knew that he was just gonna react a certain way and start telling me all this stuff. But I knew that this is what I wanted to do, and I didn't want to have any extra distraction on top of what I was already dealing with. So I scheduled my MCAT, I took my MCAT, I studied for the MCAT, took it, applied, sent in my primary application, got my secondaries back, got an interview in November. My dad has no idea. Only my mom and my sister and my close family know what's going on. My in-laws knew, but my dad did not know. I did the interview. That was in November. At that point, he didn't know. I was trying to decide what I should do. I was wondering, should I wait until I get accepted to tell him? Or should I at least tell him after the interview that I've at least done everything that I can do to this point, and I'm just waiting to hear back? My mom was like, Michael, just wait until you get in so you can really surprise him. I actually ended up giving in, and I told him around March of this year. So I had already gotten the interview, and I was just waiting to hear back to whether I got accepted or not. I actually ended up telling him that I had already applied and that I had gotten an interview and I was just waiting to hear back. And obviously he went crazy at that moment. But there was only a certain level he could go because I hadn't really gotten in yet, but I had at least completed one of the hardest parts, you know, of taking the MCAT #1, but then getting an interview. So at this point, I did everything that I could do. If I didn't get in, at least he can say that I tried. Lo and behold, I did get accepted, and the first thing I knew I wanted to do when I got accepted was call my dad. He was super excited. He couldn't believe it. He was saying things like, Michael, I am satisfied. I am satisfied.
Oh, now I can go celebrate. Well, let's close down the pharmacy.
And obviously it's a little dramatic personally, but I am happy that I was able to make my dad proud for something for him, like something like getting into medical school means the world to him. It might even mean more to him than it does to me, but nevertheless, I'm super excited that I got in, and I'm really happy that I was able to please my dad. You know, not that I did it to make my dad happy. You can never do anything in life just to please your parents. At the end of the day, you gotta do what you feel you're supposed to do because it's your life. If I would not go through this if it was just to please my dad. Trust me. That being said, I am happy that I was able to make my dad happy and bring him so much joy.
This is, oh my God, are you serious, Michael?
I'm dead serious. I'm not. And allow him to be proud of something that I've accomplished. by getting into medical school. So anyways, I hope that kind of like gives you guys some understanding of how I was raised, my background, my parents, and the reason why my dad reacted the way that he did. All for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to be posting more videos, giving you guys more tips on different parts of the application. I might even post my personal statement and read it to you guys. So if you guys want to get notified about these things, I would encourage you to subscribe. Hop along this journey because it's going to be a great one. Thank you guys so much.
Oh my gosh. God is good.